Alright guys, welcome to this one. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. As some of you have probably figured out, I live in a pretty small town in Nevada, and we have no outdoor stores, nothing like a Walmart or any of those kind of stores where you can get everything all in one. But what we do have are hardware stores, and for a small town as this, we have kind of an absurd number of hardware stores. And some of those stores actually sell fishing gear. So my plan today is to go into these stores and find one full rig. So not necessarily a rod and reel, although if there are anything halfway decent in there, I may pick one up. But my thought is, you know, one bait presentation. So a bait, hooks, weights, whatever I may need to do that full presentation. Or like one lure or something like that. So the thought is to come out of here with a couple different things or one or two things from each of these stores, and then head to the ponds and fish with them and see if we can catch some fish off of just what we can find in the store here. So stay tuned. I am not going to be filming inside of these stores because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to, and I don't really feel like asking. We'll go over what I buy at each one and after the fact, and we'll show you kind of how I have that set up and what my thought process was, and then we'll go fish them. So stay tuned. Alright, so here is what I wound up with from True Value. Originally I was trying to throw a Texas rig together, but they did not have big enough hooks. So instead, what we wound up with, some 1/0 Eagle Claw bait keepers, some 1/8 ounce weights, and these I'm just going to use as a drop shot weight. And for my bait, they did have some Roboworms in there, surprisingly. So these are the Aaron's Magic with red and black flake, one of my personal favorite colors. I actually have a whole bunch of these in my bag. I'm not really sure why I bought them, but it's not going to hurt to have more. And with those, we'll throw together a drop shot, and I think we can use that pretty easily to catch a fish. Now, I did purchase something else. I went ahead and bought a Max Pro spinning reel by Garcia, mainly because I have no Garcia spinning reels. As much as I use their casting reels, I have none that are spinning, and I wanted to try them. So their Pro lineup is decent, or their Max series lineup, I guess. So their Max Pro is kind of the higher end of the Max series. So I figured that would be a good one to test out. But for now, that's what we got out of this store. Just one rig. It's going to be a drop shot only. And for now, we'll go see what we can find at the other stores. Alright, so for my second stop, I wound up at the Ace Hardware in town here, the helpful place. So I wound up with some Eagle Claw. They had 2/0 bait hooks, snelled obviously, which I'll just cut those off, but 2/0 should work at least to make a simple Texas rig. They did have number 9 Rapala countdowns, so we will use that as a jerk bait. I got the brown trout color, and then I got a pack. This is the only soft plastics I could find in there. Were some Gitzit tubes, which do come with their own hooks, but I like that this is kind of an assorted pack of colors. So they're all black base. There's some gold flake, some purple flake, some candy. So we're going to run these probably in a couple different ways, actually. Try and see if we can get a bite out of them. And then lastly, to complete my so-called Texas rig, they had some bullet weights. So I bought the 3/16 ounce, my most common size I use, and about turning those into what we need. So between that gives me basically 4 presentations to use between the 2 stores. And I think we could probably get a bite on them all. Alrighty, so these are the rods that I had rigged from yesterday at the cooling ponds. If you guys saw that video, that was catching fish up shallow. So we're going to re-rig some of these to run these baits. First of all, I'm going to take one of these Eagle Claw snelled 2-aught bait holder hooks, and we're going to modify this just a little bit. So the way we're going to do that, first of all, we're going to cut off this mono line, the actual snell. This is like 60-pound freaking mono for a 2-aught hook. Alright, so now we're left with just a bait holder hook. Still garbage. We're going to take our pliers and we're going to pinch down these little bait keeper barb portions. And then lastly, we need to straighten this thing out just a little bit. You can see they've got a twist in them. They're not straight. So we're going to take our pliers and we're literally just going to bend this so that it's straight. So we're going to pair that with one of these 3/16 ounce bullet weights and one of these Gitzit tubes, but I think I'm going to run the black with purple. So second, we'll rig up our Rapala countdown, and lastly we have our drop shot set up. So this I'm going to put on the spinning rod. This is a 1/8 ounce drop shot weight. They're not sold as drop shot weights, but that's what they are. And we've got our 4.5-inch straight tail Roboworm here. And with that one, we're going to rig it with this 2/aught Eagle Claw bait keeper. And we are going to modify this one as well. Now this actually isn't a bad drop shot hook, other than the fact that the hook itself is just a bad quality. So now, being in Nevada, obviously there's a huge emphasis on trout fishing here. And that's pretty much what any of your small hardware stores carry, is just trout gear. And luckily there is a little overlap. So we're going to chop off our existing Texas rig so that we can put together our janky Texas rig. Rig our Gitzit up just Texas style, so in through the nose, out through the bottom. Alright, so there we go. Pretty janky looking rig, but it should work. So that's going to be the rig there. Looks like crap, I know, but this is just to show you, if you guys had to make it work and you were looking for some simple bass gear around, you can find it. You can make it work at least. We'll tie up a drop shot rig real quick. And then last but not least, we'll stick our worm on there. So that Aaron's Magic Roboworm. We are gonna Texas rig it, poke the hook tip through, and that's actually not a bad looking drop shot really. Stay tuned and we'll see how these baits actually work. Him. He was swimming on the, he was literally just nose up to that rock right there, and then it swam out a little. There we go. I got a fish. Now that is going to be first fish on the tube. Oh, there it goes. Nice. The Eagle Claw actually got it done. There he is. Biting down on me. Let him go. Alright, so we can check this one off. This is actually the one I was the least confident in. The old Texas rig. And I actually got snagged earlier, and if you can see, it bent that hook point out just a little bit. Not enough to destroy it, but I thought about resharpening it. But it actually bent it out in the direction that I wanted it to go, so it's a good thing. So one down, a couple more to go. Oh, we just had one bite right here. Have a bite on this, but I would like to follow that bite through with a drop shot really quick to see if I could coax him to follow it. Hook point didn't even come through. Absolute trash hooks. Try one more, but I think I'm counting that one. I'm gonna try and just run this thing completely weightless for a second. Getting it down, but I think I could avoid getting it stuck in the rocks, and then guys, I think the issue with this is this hook point is like dull. I mean, I'm talking really dull. These things are just trash. Okay, so now our hook is sharpened up as much as I could get it, which was not awesome, but it'll work for what we got going on. So I just got to really make a point to drive that hook home. Look at that, hook came through. What do you know? And it just pops right back out. But look at this. Freaking Senko in its mouth, man. That's one dumb fish. Nice one though. Glad somebody else released it for me. Sweet. Let's get him back. Rapala, so I had to tie on one of my own. I've got a scat wrap that I never use, but it is a Rapala jerkbait. It's just a little more aggressive, but it's essentially the same thing. It's just a little smaller, unfortunately. So with any luck we'll mimic it, but if I end up catching fish on this, we're going to call it a half pass on the challenge today. So I can't remember if this is a countdown or not. Oh, it is. So this is literally the same thing, just smaller. I did not think that the jerk baits were going to be the hard part of this challenge. One of the cool things about the scat wraps is you can actually just run them like a square bill, basically. Just crank them in. I've got a memory spot like right towards the end of what should be a good cast. Oh, we're on. Oh my gosh. Well, that's not what I was expecting at all. You got pliers in your bag? No, never mind, we're all good. Well, that's definitely a first for me. That pretty much completes my challenge there. Let's let him go. Ooh. Definitely a little different than bass fishing, I'll say that. I did not expect that. You can always tell it's a catfish when they start to roll. I could see him rolling out there, so I thought it was a trout, but nope. Well, there it is, guys. That was the last bait. I know it's not exactly the same one, but that was it. Got one on the drop shot, which ended up being weightless because I broke the weight off. Actually, I got a couple on that finesse worm. Then got one on the tube, Texas rig tube, and I actually had one on the original jerk bait right in front of me. I brought it up, but it got off. So I decided not to count it. I think that's fair. Ended up catching that stinking catfish after I broke the jerk bait off, or the countdown that I bought. Threw that scat wrap on and ended up catching a freaking catfish of all things. I can't believe that. That's the first time I've ever caught a catfish out here. So, pretty cool. Definitely different. Alright guys, what's going on? We are finishing up this video. You guys let me know in the comments, does it count as a win? Did I pass the challenge? I caught fish on all the baits except for the jerk bait, which I tossed and got a wicked backlash and hucked that thing about 60 yards, so I was unable to catch anything on that. But I threw on the scat wrap, which is a similar bait. It's still a countdown, Rapala, different color, but still a countdown, and was able to get a fish on it. Mind you, not a bass. So let me know in the comments if you think that counts as a challenge passing. I did catch fish on all 3 of the presentations, I'll say that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It really just goes to show that you can find stuff to get the job done, and with a little bit of know-how you can modify some of that stuff to make it work a little better. Like we had to actually sharpen one of those hooks. That hook just was not penetrating, and I sharpened it up and literally the next cast caught a fish. So modify things, little know-how, shop for what you have, and make the best out of what you got, and you can still catch fish. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Should be right over there. Gonna be a little button that comes up at the end. Hit the subscribe button. We're gonna keep the videos coming. And if you guys like this one, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Appreciate it when you guys do that. It lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. And I think we'll come up with some more challenges in the future. So hopefully you guys enjoy those things. So we will catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching.